looking forward to this ESI nationalist event. Um, what are some things that people can expect to learn from an event like this that
Yes.
will help them in their AEP, right? Because like the way I look at it is, we were talking about this the other day. There's a couple of key elements you really have to nail in order to really have a successful AEP, which is what my talk's going to be all about. How to nail these key elements. What are some things that people really need to get down in a big way to have a successful AEP? You've been through more than 10, right, at this point. I've been through more than 10 at this point. Our AEP experience individually, each respectively, is getting close to being a teenager, which is a little scary.
We have a child together.
Put them together, they can buy a drink, potentially,
In Europe? Definitely in Europe.
Definitely. And so what are some things that people really need to get down in terms of having a master AEP? Because people are always like, I want to have a great AEP, but how? What do I do?
So the two camps analogy, I talked about this before, and I still feel really strongly about this. And I had a conversation the other day with someone else who's been in the space for a long time. And there is this sentiment out there from a lot of players, not just independent agents, not just agency owners, some of even the bigger players are having this, it's almost like an existential crisis type moment in some ways, where they're looking at their book of business, they're looking at their existing clients, and they're just thinking, I need to protect them. I'm not even thinking about marketing or buying leads or Walmart tables, or they're not even thinking about any of that stuff.
They're always thinking about Walmart tables.
Well,
that's priority number one, okay?
I think about Walmart all the time, you guys. I love Walmart. Soon to be a sponsor of the show. They're just focused on retention. They're just going to be circling the wagons, protecting their book, keeping their clients on the books, which is important. I'm not trying to downplay how important retention is. Huge emphasis here at ESI on retention. We talk about it all the time. We had an incredible retention last AEP during the chaos. We have the same expectations going into this AEP, even with several books of businesses that we've bought and now integrated into the agency. So we have more clients than ever that we're looking to retain. It's still something that's super important. Now, that being said, we fully anticipate by, I don't know, definitely before the end of October, really having all of that retention work done and out of the way, you guys.
Yeah.
If not sooner. I feel like last AEP, and again, we've grown significantly over the past 12 months. So I don't want to say it's going to be exactly the same for us, but by last AEP, I'd say by like the third week of October, the retention game was done for us. And that
vast
type
majority
of system,
of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Vast
That type of
majority
system is replicatable. You can do it too. You can do it too.
For some reason, when I've laid out our retentions process and our system, I feel like we've done a great job of getting it down to a science over the course of many years of kind of like trying different processes, trying different methods, and tweaking things here and there. For some reason, agents fight me like hell on our retention system. I don't know if you've noticed that when I've talked about it, but like there's a lot of resistance to the way that we do things. And I don't understand.
Resistance is futile. There's a lot of resistance to everything we say and do. I feel like there's agents. That's what I'm laughing at. Is there's stuff that came up this week that we talked about where there were some agents, some good agents, who I think kind of looked at us like we were crazy for things that we didn't do. We don't have to talk about it right now. I think you know what I'm alluding to.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of those things where it's like I'm not going to say who said it, but somebody in our industry said a couple of years ago, and I think it was spot on. I could put out every single thing I do for free, and 99% of people won't do it anyway.
For sure. For sure.
And
It took me a while to understand that, but that's very real, very true.
it's so true. And, you know, it's just kind of mind boggling to me because, okay, so like if we're just talking about retention's a big piece of what we do here at ESI. Like we want to keep clients. We don't want to lose clients. From historically, we've always hovered around 95% retention rate, which is phenomenal, way above
Incredible.
industry average.
Way above.
And I've never actually known an agency that has that type of number consistently, that has thousands and thousands of clients like we do. Our book of business is bigger than it's ever been right now. We acquired a bunch of new agencies and things like that. From 2024 to 2025, we did that audit. We've talked about it many times. We're just under a 98% retention rate. That includes death, includes mortality, all of that stuff. So we're doing something right in terms of how we're keeping, how we're retaining our clients and our book of business and everything like that. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, people just like, when I talk about it, they're just so like, oh, I don't want to do that. And I'm just like, I don't understand why. I feel like we're literally given the playbook. We're given the answers to the test on how you can keep your clients.
I want to talk about something that came up this week that is super applicable to everybody. And it's this idea, and I think, again, I think it comes from when you're a new agent and you're struggling, you want to contact every single client you have. Some of you have held on to that belief throughout growing your book, throughout growing your agency. If Christian and I were to say, even the clients on the best plan for them, we still want to have conversations, we still want to get them in the office. If we had that belief, it would probably be difficult to do the type of retention that we do. But talk a little bit about that for the people, because I think that's something that there's a lot of agents out there going into this AEP. They're freaked out by changes, and they're thinking in their minds, I have to talk to every single client, even the ones who are already on the best plan for them. I can't just send them an email. I can't just send them a letter. That's insanity.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them? Are you disappointed in them?
No, I wouldn't say I'm disappointed. Disappointed. I would say that disappointed. I would say that what most people get wrong about AEP, if you have any decent number of clients, let's say you have 500 or up, it's a lot of people to manage, right? If you have 500, if you have 1,000, if you have 1,500, 2,000, 3, 4, 5,000, 10,000, right? There's a lot of people to manage. When you have a lot of people to manage and you only have so much time to do it, you have to prioritize who really needs to change, whether their plan's terming, whether their plan is going to hell in a handbasket, as they say, as the children say. And you have to prioritize. You have to put the people that have more of a need, an urgent need, at the front of the bus. And you have to find ways to communicate to your clients that probably don't need to change, that they probably don't need to change. Not everybody needs to change. The majority of people, this AEP won't change. The majority, even with all the changes, even with all the disruption, you're looking at over half on Medicare. Did I freeze up?
You're back. Your audio was still good. Your picture froze for a second. Keep going.
That's weird. The majority of people, over 50% of the people, won't change, right?
Yeah.
So like, you have people that are still going to be on the best plan that don't need to change. You don't need to have an hour meeting with them. And so the game becomes, how do you accomplish that? How do you get that message to them without having an hour meeting with every single one of them? So many of you're having an hour meeting with every single client you have, and that's just not possible. It's not sustainable. And that's what we're going to be going over in this AEP virtual kickoff. It's an aspect of it. It's one piece of it.
Yes.
But Yeah, I think that's really, but I understand agents are afraid. They're afraid to lose their shorts, and they hear, messaging from people just like us saying that this is going
Yeah,
to be a crazy AEP, and it is. And you
it
do need to
will.
take your attention seriously. You just need to do it smarter and more efficient.